If you have questions about weight loss, consistent exercise routine, or the routine that's going to work best for you, or emotional eating and body image issues, welcome to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast. And today's episode is our Q and Hey. We answer questions from our social medias, clients, and people who write in, because that's a part of what we do. So if you are ready, listen up and lean in as we elevate your mind.
Yes.
Q and Hey. So
it's been a while.
For those of you who want to look at the timestamps, we're going to chat a little bit about our lives. So if you don't like that, just skip up right ahead and get to the questions and answers, because there's probably questions in there that you have for yourself. For me, I had a really cool experience this weekend.
What?
I talked on this episode, on this podcast, about my best friend, not Adrienne, but my other best friend, who we had a falling out in 2021, and we stopped talking for 3 years, literally 3 years to the day. And it was her birthday 2 Sundays ago. And I just had this, I've been thinking about her a lot. And I just said, fuck it. And I reached out and I said, happy birthday. I hope you are well. And she responded right away. We started talking and we set up a time to chat. We went, got a coffee, and we walked around a park for like an hour and a half. And it was magical. It was like no time had passed other than kind of catching each other up on our lives.
Right.
And, you know, it wasn't even a conversation about you did this, you did that, because honestly, I think at the end of the day, we realized that we were just in this point of our lives collectively where things were just changing and we did not have a conversation about it. And so I had this wonderful conversation with her. Then we happened to be going to watch the Ohio State Oregon game at a place near her. So I invited her. She came out. We had a great time.
Whoa.
I saw her sister. We had a hard launch on social media that we are friends again. And everyone's like, oh my God, yay. The gang's all back together again. And it makes my heart feel amazing. So
that's good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's worth it.
And I hope that we can just kind of pick up where we left off. Well, not where we left off, but where we left off. So that was really awesome. A new era. And I told her, I go, listen, if I'm ever doing anything that feels avoidant or feels not good to you, an ick, then I want you to tell me, because at the end of the day, like, I just want to know how to be a better friend to my friends rather than kind of mind reading or, you know, as we talked about in earlier episodes, like kind of leaning on my defaults, which is, you know, people pleasing, caretaking, things like that. So it was awesome.
How was line dancing?
It was good if you guys don't know, I messed up my heel. I jumped off of this very small, it's called Skull Rock in Joshua Tree, and I misread the landing. This was in July 2023. I misread the landing and ended up what they thought was bruising my bone on my heel. I couldn't walk. I was in a boot. I had crutches, then was in a boot for a while. And I was wearing my Doc Martens when we were planning to go line dancing, but we just ended up there. And I like to dance. I was jumping around. My foot hurts so bad. And one of my doctors that I work with, it's a male client. He's like, honestly, you just need to go get an MRI. He goes, because what's going to happen is your gait's going to be off. Oh, no. And you're going to have longer term issues.
Yeah.
He said, you don't want to cause secondary, issues because of this injury. It hurts so bad. I was walking today and I'm like, do I need to put my walking boot back on just to like allow it some time to chill out? That's what the doctor will tell me to do. I know that. And that's fine, because even with the walking boot, I still figured out how to move my body in a way that served me, because walking boots are nice because you can put a little bit of pressure on your foot, but it hurts, man. And I'm just annoyed by this injury.
An MRI.
I had x-rays done.
Oh,
okay. And the doctor goes, well, you might have a hairline fracture, and we can only see those on an MRI, and sometimes we can't see them at all. But the fact that it's been over a year,
you should go get it checked.
I'm going to go. I told Mark, I'm like, I just need to see a doctor. Like, I want to get an MRI on my knee and my ankle and my shoulder because last week it was my shoulder that was hurting.
I know. You know what? Actually, weird. You know what I learned this weekend at a networking thing, and I didn't know this, is that if you're pregnant in your 3rd trimester and you have a history of C-sections, if your right shoulder all of a sudden starts hurting, like a sharp pain, not like I pulled my muscle, like chest pressing pain, then it could be a placental abruption. I was like, oh, I feel like she said it's very, very rare, but it's one of like a biggest sign that you can have. And I was like, oh my God, that's
crazy.
Urgent.
Yeah. Are you dilating?
No.
When does that happen?
I don't know.
Is it dilating or dilating?
I don't know. I don't think
someone let us know.
Well, I'll let you know tomorrow.
Our OBGYN clients are like, it's this.
I know. Sorry. The prenatal postpartum specialist doesn't know. That's good. Good for business.
Okay. I mean, you don't birth the babies. You just set people up to have like a healthy pregnancy.
I don't think so, because I go tomorrow. Actually, that's a good reminder. I go to the OBGYN tomorrow. Forgot I had that. And I don't think so. It's been so strange because I haven't had any Braxton Hicks, and those usually start like at 32 weeks, and I'm at, I think, 36 weeks this week. I know. So yeah, I haven't had any of those. And so I'm like, okay. And I don't know. I'm just doing a lot of hip mobility right now. That feels really good. So it's just, we're hanging out. I got a dresser, I guess. You can't see it because I got a dresser. And then that's about it.
You have clothes for this child?
Kinda. We have.
All right. Can Auntie TT?
Well, my theory is, because Michael's very concerned about the clothes too. And I'm like, look, a bunch of people, or not a bunch, there are several people who are in a tizzy, as they'd like to say, because they don't know the gender. So they just don't know what to buy it. And I'm like,
primary colors.
Well, again,
that's what my sister did. Primary colors.
Again, if I got a blue onesie, I would be like, okay, great. If I got a pink onesie, I'd be like, okay, great. Like, they're going to shit.
Just like yellow, orange, green, gray. Yeah.
It's apparently, it's a thing. People are not calm.
Beige aesthetic. That's a thing on social media.
I know. So
yeah, I'm going to be in charge of that. Clothes.
I know. I got to reorganize in here too. Yeah. So that will be done at some point.
You and have their first baby early or late?
Late. You tend to have your first baby late. Your other babies come earlier.
Early.
So we'll see. Yeah, they don't like you. I think you can go up to 42 weeks with the baby, but they really don't like that. So we're gonna see, because my baby's been head down for a while now too. Because I was like, oh, and they're like, oh, good, already head down, and I was like, oh boy. So yeah, we'll see what they're doing in there. They're definitely, I should send you this video. It's so disturbing of my belly. Okay. You don't want to see it? That's fine.
You can send it.
It's very odd because you like see my belly like wave. Just like,
he's just in there like having a fucking rave.
Yeah.
He is what I'm gonna say.
He's like, T-Pain.
Like, yeah, I know. He's like, where's my fucking Mr. Worldwide?
I know. And then that's it. But I went to a new wax girl. I went to a new wax place. I know. I switched my vagina waxing because the other place I was like getting ingrowns, and I was like, okay, is this normal? And then they kind of, see. And then they kept like not blaming it on me, but kind of being like, well, and I was like, okay, I do exactly, like, I don't know if y'all know me, but if you tell me what
rule follower.
Yeah, I am a very good rule follower and I do it. And so I was like, okay. And last time I went there, I tried a different girl because I was like, maybe it's the girl. And then I went to a different girl, and that girl, she was a lot more gentle with my, downstairs, but it took like too long where I was like, oh my God, fucking rip this off of me, please.
I had my eyebrows waxed at my med spa, and it didn't feel anything.
Oh, that's wild. That's nice.
You should go there. It's the wax.
Shannon, and Shannon explained that I guess they use a different kind of wax or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shannon to do other parts of me had me in different positions. It was a different experience, and my vagina didn't feel like it was on fire when I left. So I will stay with Shannon.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to talk about this. Never mind. I was like just looking at different things, and like there's so many procedures you can have on like your vagina and your like butthole. You can like bleach it. You can do all these. Well, I had a client who had like
the Mona Lisa.
I had a client who did like a whole labia surgery after she broke up with her boyfriend. She's like, fuck this. Yeah. I was like, I think I have a nice vagina personally. But I will say, because my hair follicles are dark, like the skin is like darker than other skin.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe look into that. I don't know why, but why would I, like, Mark's like, I don't care. So
I know. That's Michael. Michael's like, it's fine. I'm like,
they don't.
I don't even know why you do that. And I'm like, I don't know either, because I can't see. I like literally cannot see my vagina.
Yeah. So I would do it too. I think that's important.
Well, and like it was summer, like I'm gonna be in a swimsuit and just kind of be like, here's my hair. Like, no.
He doesn't understand unless he's gonna learn how to shave for you. Doubtful.
Yeah.
Anyway. That's exciting. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't start opening up soon.
Ripening. Well, there's some things that I'm going to start doing next week, because next week is it next week? I'm going to tell y'all. Yes. On the 24th is technically when I'm at 37 weeks. And so at 37 weeks, you're good to have a baby and bring it home and not go in NICU, minus.
Oh, yay.
So we are getting acupuncture. We are going to start eating dates. I'm going to start having my red raspberry leaf tea. And Michael has been informed I will need him to step up his game on intercourse, because sperm has prolastogenins, I think it's called, prolastogens, something like that, which ripens the cervix. So he ripens. Yeah, it ripens it. So he's going to be on alert too. So we're going to start that. And then there was something else I was going to do too that you can collect colostrum beforehand. But you have to be careful, because nipple stimulation allegedly can induce labor or help with labor or prompt labor. So you don't want to collect it too early. So I'm going to consider collecting colostrum next week too.
How do you do that?
You essentially play with your boobies.
Oh, okay. You're weird.
I know, it's so weird. I was like, and you get like it sounds like a drug deal for your boobs, to be honest, because it's like little droplets. So you like you don't play with your boob, but I have no other way to explain this. You stimulate your nipple, and then the colostrum comes out, but then you take a syringe, and so you get the syringe. I know. So like you get it on a spoon, collect it through the syringe, put it in the fridge, and then you try again later. And so like, and then once that syringe gets full, you put it in a tube, and then you have it for yourself.
Okay.
I know. It's like,
it's so strange to me, but let's answer some questions.
Q&A, some actual probably useful data.
Yes. Well, some women may not know. There's pregnant women listening to this. Maybe a few.
Actually, one of these questions is about there was a pregnancy one in here. Maybe not. Anyway.
All right. So first one comes from an anonymous member of our weight loss. What is it called? Women's Weight Loss and Workout Support Group on Facebook. What is the deal with the lower stomach and hip jiggle? Is that fat storage, lack of muscle, bloating, or bad posture? It jiggles when I walk and I dislike it very much. How do I get rid of it? FYI, I'm 28, never been pregnant, 5'5", 142, BMI 23.6. Have lost about 35 pounds in the last year from low-cal, high-protein diet and strength training.
Yeah.
So this person also provided us with a video of it. Y'all know there's that area of your body that just is the last thing to go. And for this particular person, for me, it was more of lack of muscle definition as well as still having body fat on her body. Now, her entire body from these photos was actually pretty lean.
Right.
This is where I wouldn't be surprised if in her, but prior to the weight loss, if she was someone who carried majority of her weight around her belly.
Yes.
So for this, I would continue kind of cycling through a calorie deficit in an effort to lose that body fat, and cycle through a building phase where we're focusing on building that muscle in the core, because again, your core is like your other muscles and you should be training it similarly as your other muscles. And that does not mean doing, 500 sit-ups, because that's going to be stupid.
Right. Here's my take on this is she's 28, 5'5", 142. And I'm like, well, how much more weight are we trying to lose if we're in this calorie deficit? Because 142 at 5'5" at 28 years old is, I would say, pretty solid. Yeah. And again, if she's in the last year, she's lost about 35 pounds already. Great success. Low cal, high protein, with strength training, then I would say this might be more of a training issue and a more so of what does your program look like? Because if we're not focusing like on the stomach area, so for example, when we want a core, we have to actually work on the core. And by doing that, like doing actual exercises and strength training it, literally like same exercises every week, progressive overload, we've talked about this ad nauseum, then that core is going to build, right? And that weight may stay the same, which is fine, but your structure is going to look different, right? And so the lower stomach jiggle and hip jiggle, like you said, that may have been where she did have more fat storage when she was in a larger body. But also, yeah, it probably is due to lack of muscle. Bloating, you would have other symptoms of bloating that she didn't mention here. So I'm not sure, like, I would even take that into consideration.
Women, and that, like, I see this in our group a lot, they confuse bloating with like visceral fat on their stomach.
Yes.
Like, no, babe, you just have more fat over your organs.
Yes.
This is not bloating.
No. And bloating is like, you feel like different.
Yeah. You got to get some air out.
Yeah. Bad posture, it could be, but changing your posture could be fixed by strength training in the appropriate muscles. So I think she should come out of the deficit if she is in one, and focus on eating at maintenance to a site surplus, because she probably hasn't, and then focus on building that muscle with a good program.
Yeah. And you could do like I said, like not a full blown deficit, but maybe just like a mini cut here and there to see if we can reduce some of that body fat. But again, it's not going to spot reduce. And it's always that area. Like for me, it's my inner thighs, just that whole part of like my upper thigh. It's harder for me to lose weight. Whereas my stomach is one of the fastest places I lose weight, which is everyone's like, fuck you. I have a really long torso, very long.
You do have a long torso. I would agree.
Yeah, that's why it's easier for me, because there's a lot more space between my boobs and my hip flexors than other people, whereas when people have a shorter torso, it can be hard for them. But, it's like we said, back in the day, Women's Health Magazine, they tell you to do all these core exercises, compound movements, squats, deadlifts, overhead press. Like that's actually going to be better for your core, especially if you have, like you said, have proper form. But then also you can do things. And this is where I go back to like the upper ab grippers, the pelvic floor struggles, doing very specific types of core movements, your bird dogs, your dead bugs, your Palloff press, I like a good rotational ab, ab exercise, like and anti-rotation, Russian twists. Even sometimes I'll just do kettlebell march where I have kettlebells overhead marching. So planks, things like that. That's going to be helpful for you. And doing those 2 to 3 days a week, consistently focusing on making sure your form is correct, right? So we're not arching when we're not supposed to arch. We're not rotating when we're not supposed to rotate.
Not using our hip flexors when we're not supposed to be using our hip flexors. Yes.
A lot. So I think for a lot of women, they think, I'm doing all these core exercises. Oh, this is the one I fucking hate, where people crunch their neck when they do crunches. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Your neck should stay in alignment with your spine when you're doing like a crunch and a bird dog, right? If you're like, whenever like I do a bird, no, my head's down, right? My head's down. What is it that I do? I don't know, but don't crunch your neck. I hate that, where people like go do this. Yeah. They're like, ugh, stop. But they'll say that, and I'm like, well, no, you're not actually working your core. You're working your neck muscles at that point. We don't want to necessarily go to fatigue. We want to make sure that we are still having adequate rest in between those movements. And over time, you will see changes in your body. And with building in the building phase, we'll be able to build more of those muscles out. So, yeah, done. All right.
Excuse me.
Next one. Go.
Michelle, where to find, okay, this one is hot and heavy, so bear with me. Michelle's asked where to find motivation for a weight loss program. I'm feeling frustrated. It's been extremely difficult for me to find the motivation to start a weight loss program. 5'7", 195, goal is to lose 30 pounds. She was calorie counting, and I'm assuming this 1400 means that's where she was at, and going for walks, doing Pilates. I cut out fast food, sodas, etc. Well, I got on the scale and I'm 2 pounds heavier. I know weight loss isn't always linear and that it's only been a week, but with how hard it's been to motivate myself, I just really needed a win this week. There is so much here.
So much. First things first, she probably stepped on the scale on Monday after like having a dinner out and never stepped on the scale again to take an average weight.
Right.
But
and your weight fluctuates. Yeah. So that's the scale problem is if you're going to weigh yourself, we need to do it daily. If you are going to focus on just this 2 pounds, then we need to understand where the 2 pounds are coming from, because you did not gain
2 pounds.
You didn't eat 7,000 calories plus 1,400 calories. So whatever that is in one day, that would be impossible. Or maybe it's not impossible. Number two,
it's only been a week.
It's only been a week.
Only been a week.
Only been a week, girl. And so and I want to say more mentally, mindset wise, I just really needed a win this week. If you are focusing on weight loss and that scale determining your success or your win, because a win is a success, so use that interchangeably, then you are going to fail. And it's not because you are choosing to fail. It is because your measure of failure is it's so unfair to yourself. Because go ahead.
I was going to say, if you read this, right, she's reduced processed foods, win.
Right.
She's doing Pilates, win. She's going for walks, win. Right? Yeah. Counting calories, 1,400. That's
a little low for 195 at 5'7".
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. She's probably fucking hungry. But she lists here the wins. And again, why do we let this machine determine our success?
Right.
No one fucking knows what you weigh.
Correct.
Right?
My other thing here too is going back to the timeline. So as we said, it's only been a week and her goal is to lose 30 pounds. You at least have 30 weeks.
Correct.
So if this is how we're feeling in the first week, how are we going to do the other 29? And so that's going to...
What are we going to do when we plateau at 15 weeks?
Correct. So
you're going to give it all up? The 15 pounds you lost, you're just going to give up because the scale said so?
Yeah, probably. So here's what I would do, right? Because we can shit on this a lot and we don't want to. Here's what I would do. Go for the walks, do the Pilates. Continue cutting out the fast food and sodas. Eat till you're satisfied, not overly satisfied, but monitor that intake level. If counting calories helps you, great. But I bet you adding in walks, doing Pilates consistently, cutting out the fast food and sodas will give you that win that you're looking for without even using the scale. It's not going to give you 30-pound win, but it's going to give you a consistent win and then determine on, okay, what's my next lever to pull from here? Also, consider where we're at this time of year. We are in October. You have Halloween, you have Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever holiday that you celebrate there. You've got Thanksgiving, if you celebrate that. We've got New Year's coming up. How are you going to stay at a 1,400 calorie deficit during those times? Because I can guarantee that you probably won't.
Yep.
So
no, I agree. The other thing that this is going to provide you, if we can focus on that part of the process, is energy, feeling better in your body, having less joint pain, getting out in nature, getting some fresh air, managing your nervous system. Win, 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 win. Like, don't even look at the scale. Don't even weigh yourself.
Nope.
Do progress photos. Do measurements.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, you don't give a shit. If you could look 30 pounds lighter at 180, you probably would take it.
Right. And I bet you would too.
Yeah. I'm at 151, 152 right now. And my goal in my brain always used to be 148. I don't know. That's like where I was when I met Mark, and our brain does that stupid shit. And I'm like, I look the fucking same. Stop.
You know what's wild is, okay, so here's from my own experience right now, because this happened today. Because I was like, I never watched that strength training video that we did. And then I was setting up a client and I saw it on there and I was like, let me click that shit. So I was watching the video and I get comments. I would say maybe once a month about my arms. And I always think like, like whatever. And I'm looking at this video, and this is again pre-pregnancy, so my body is obviously much different. And I'm like, damn, I did not realize my arms were that fucking sculpted. And so again, I know, I was like, oh, okay. So this is something where that has nothing to do with the scale. That has all to do, and where I'm getting at is my own perception of myself. But we will overlook that continuously. So I've overlooked that success or that achievement or that desired outcome this whole time. Now, not every day. I'm not like, my arms, but like, I've just never seen it. And then when you're able to see that progress from point A to B and look back and be like, oh, okay, that's something that I could have said, well, at that time that video was taken, I think I was in a bulk and I felt fluffy as fuck. And and obviously my weight was up, right? But I didn't see any of that. I just felt it. And that was enough to tell me it wasn't good enough. And then when I look back, I'm looking and going, oh yeah, that's nice.
Well, look good. Yeah.
So
no, it's, again, you gotta wait longer. This is the process. It's people just, again, they want the quick fix, they want the quick results. And if you can, like you said, you continue to do that, you will quote unquote fail. Right. But I don't call them failures anymore. I call them familiars, because you're doing the same shit over and over again and expecting a different result. Yeah. So good. All right. Miss Montana. Montana asks, alternatives for major sweet tooth cravings when trying to lose a lot of weight. Now, we're not going to go in logistics. Montana only answered this question, so we don't have answers to all the things. Major sweet tooth cravings. Probably because you're not allowing yourself to have sweets.
Yes.
Or
you're way too low of calories when trying to lose weight.
Or your sleep sucks. Or both.
Yeah.
Because our bodies are going to look for energy through those fast burning carbohydrates.
Right.
And our body's going to look for that pleasurable food.
Yep.
And it doesn't have, I said this before, you don't have the experience of not eating that food. So why do you think that you miraculously cannot do it and also be in a calorie deficit at the same time? It's like, come on.
I feel like, it just, between these three questions, it breaks my heart, because it's like, man, this is so much harder than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
this is still people's reality.
Yeah. And I forget that, because we work with people who come in with that reality, and then we sort through that and give them, the freedom in 4 or 6 months. But this is the majority.
I think I answered this question for her.
You probably did.
I won't find it. But, I said, well, let me ask you a question. Are you trying to cut these things out completely?
Right.
And I think she said, yeah, like I'm trying not to eat them at all. I said, well, does that create a scarcity mindset? And then once you get in front of them, you eat a lot of them because you've decided that day you're going to be bad or off track. And that's ultimately slowing down your progress.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing. And she said, yes. I said, here's my, I think this was the same girl. Here is my recommendation. Have that thing every day. As we say it all the time, have it every day, eat it without distraction, make it an experience and try to eat that thing as slow as you possibly can where it's still pleasurable. Because if something's like a warm thing, obviously it'll get cold over time. But if you're in a calorie deficit, that doesn't mean you don't eat certain foods. You're simply eating less calories. That also can mean more food if you're doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
But that also means that we can just take those things that we love and have them every single day in a portion that fits for our goals and a portion that fits for our body, because eating pleasurable food sometimes can make us have a stomach ache. And we do that every day. When our scarcity mindset comes in, because that's the norm, it will come in. We say, no, I enjoyed that and I'm going to have it again tomorrow. And I look forward to having it again tomorrow.
Right.
So now, don't get me wrong. I've been the girl posting, how to make, I eat Ninja Creamies every night. Why? Because it's an easy way for me to get protein in on something that I'm going to do anyways, called eating a snack.
Mm-hmm.
So I get 26 grams of protein eating a fucking whole cart of ice cream.
Damn, really?
Yes.
You're making me want a creamy.
Dude, you've got to do it. So I'm pulling it up on my Fitness Pal. Give me a sec. So mine is, I use the Fairlife chocolate milk.
Okay.
I use like 20 grams of chocolate pudding mix, 20 grams of cocoa powder, and a serving of PB Fit. And that's it.
That sounds so
I'm not adding any protein powder in it. It's solely that milk. So let me pull it up.
I should put this on my registry.
26.4 protein, 5.7 fat, 21 grams of carbs.
I wonder how much.
225 calories for the whole thing. And, if it's easier for you, maybe you're also wanting to get more protein in, because that's the thing that I would do is like, how can I make Greek yogurt taste really yummy? Right. Yeah. So I used to, before I had to cut out peanut butter, sad day, I would do Greek yogurt mixed with peanut butter with bananas and some like maple syrup on it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I have, there's a bunch of recipes for, those protein balls and stuff like that. I want to discuss a difference of what we're talking about is, how do I kill two birds with one stone here? How can I have that sweet tooth craving plus get the protein in that I know I'm probably struggling with?
Ding, ding, ding.
That's different, right? Yeah. You can do that and also have that moment with the food that you love that's not fucking, high protein.
Right.
You can do both. The other thing I like with like something that you can mix. So oftentimes the reason why we will eat a sugary food and not feel like satisfied and want more is because those carbohydrates are digested very quickly. You can take that cookie, eat some of the cookie, eat some yogurt, eat some of the cookie, eat some yogurt. And you'll notice just by combining a fat or a protein with that fast burning carb that you'll actually feel more satisfied too. So
trickies,
weird tricks. All right. Is this the last one?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Good.
Okay. Ashley, what kind of exercise would you recommend starting with to get back into it that's low impact and can be done at home? Body weight and bands, baby. Body weight and bands.
Or TRX.
I say bands because I feel like they're more familiar with bands and they're cheaper too. So like Amazon, you can get them for like $20. TRX is usually about 80 to 100, depending if you get it used. Yeah.
No, I agree. Body weight and bands. We, for our clients, like I have a client on vacation right now. She wanted to keep up her training. So you will be surprised. Like you can get an amazing workout if you are like, well, that's not enough. Okay. Hear me out. For all of you out there, like, that's not enough for me. Do this workout. Body weight, Bulgarian split squats.
Ooh.
Okay. We're going to do pike push-ups. We're going to do a Superman with a pull. So you're going to do the Superman on the ground. So your belly's on the ground. Both your arms and legs come up. And then we're going to pull back into this W position. Okay. We are going to do a single leg toe touch. And we're not going to bring our foot down afterwards. We're going to go single leg toe touch to balance. What else should we add in there, Amanda?
I would even do like a hip thrust off your couch.
We're going to actually do a single leg hip thrust with your legs on the wall.
Oh, yes. There we go.
And then we are going to do beast position shoulder taps.
Ugh.
Oh, and you know what? Let's just fuck them up. 60-second wall sit.
Ew.
Try me. Try me. Now, for this particular person, that is not the workout you should do. You're just easing back into it. Maybe we just do, instead of the Bulgarian split squats, do some prisoner squats, right?
Yeah.
We can do body weight good mornings.
Yep.
We can do elevated. I actually prefer push-ups for clients who can't do push-ups. Push-up to reset. So we're going down into that push-up position, then we're resetting. We're going down and resetting. Or you can do it the opposite way where we start at the ground, push up, reset to the ground, push up. Okay. We are going to just do the Superman without the pull. Right. And then we can do plank shoulder taps. We could do quadruped shoulder taps with our shins on the ground. And just regular glute bridge, squeezing that booty at the top.
Yep.
And instead of a wall sit, you can stretch.
Or go for a walk.
Yeah. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I think the other part of this, what kind of exercise would you recommend starting with to get back in? That's low impact, can be done at home. Excuse me. Is it like, are you more likely to do those things that we recommended, or are you more likely to go for a walk?
Right.
Would be my first question. And if you're like, oh no, I'll go for a 5-minute walk over doing that, then I would start there too.
Yes, absolutely.
Or instead of, rather.
I was listening to Rhonda Patrick, and she had mentioned that the recent research study showed that actually 10 body weight squats
is more beneficial than the 5-minute walk, huh? I know, isn't that wild?
It's good for your listeners to hear, because if you don't have time to do that, now take out the fact that walking outside specifically has so many other benefits to it.
Right.
Actually, nature regulates our nervous system, especially if we're doing it in a place that's not like New York City. So just take that out, right? Walking is going to be more beneficial with those things involved. But if you only have like 45 seconds, what was it? 45 seconds of body weight squats, I believe it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember her saying that and me being like, oh, well, or consider like if you're in Arizona during the summer, like at lunchtime, you're not going for a walk. We'll do 10 squats real quick.
Yeah. It helps to regulate your blood sugar and insulin levels. So
yes.
There you go. Perfect. Well, that's it. Wait, you didn't get any from yesterday?
The one I got was from my guy friend who always gives me shit. And he said, how pregnant are you? And I said, pretty fucking pregnant.
I love that. I love it. Yeah. Well, good guys. We do these occasionally. You will find us on our social medias. We'll ask for questions you have every Sunday. At least Amanda does. We have the Q&A link on every single episode that we do. So if you ever want to ask us questions, you can actually fill out the link in this show notes below. And if you'd like to join our very big Facebook group, it's the Women's Weight Loss and Workout Support Group. We will link that below, because that's actually where we get a lot of these questions, because everyone's in there to get supported. And we, as a coaching team, our entire team is in this Facebook group, as well as clients, which I love, because the clients who are like ahead are like, let me answer this shit. And it's awesome. So check out the show notes for that. Check out the show notes for our links to our Instagrams, our YouTube channel, as well as our Clarity Call. And that's it. This was easy. Look at us, 40 minutes, you guys. You're welcome. And if you want to learn just one very, very important thing other than what we taught you today, we want you to learn this.
What you say in the mind,
you see in the mirror.
There you go.
Peace.